Oh, well, hello there, friends and family. So good to see you again. And as you can tell, we're back in Alice today. It's Thursday, May the 2nd. And yes, we've got to go into Montgomery, the capital city, for, hopefully, this time, our pre-op procedure, whatever that may be, for our biopsy that's next week on May the 8th. So I thought I'd take you all along. I'm not sure how much talking I'll do, but you can ride along at least as long as the camera lasts. And since it's about 85 degrees, going on, supposed to be about 87 to 88 today, we'll just have to see how that goes. And we're going to make a stop on the way into my favorite convenience store, Buddy's, and pick up a drink. Because you know you need a drink for these long road trips. So hey, come on in, jump in the back seat. Got a seat to the side. Buckle all up, no fighting and bickering. And of course, always, we got room in the trunk, aka the rumble seat. So come on, climb on in, and let's take a road trip with old Mr. Tom. Well, let's get this show on the road, okay? Looks like a partly cloudy day. I will say, mostly sunny, partly cloudy. How about that? So I don't know what the sun's going to do in y'all's face. But in between the clouds, we got some beautiful blue sky. Woo! This car sure was hot, sitting out in that sun. Yeah, that's one thing to remember if you live in the deep south, is pick your car color wisely. Lighter colors will tend to be a little cooler. Of course, not by much. Yeah, see, we got a doggy out on the loose. No, they got him chained. Yeah, they need to build a fence. But at least they're keeping them up. And that's a good thing. Because not all doggies are friendly to kitties. Some were. If you can remember, what was her name? Stella? Yeah. She became our friend. Until we found Stella's owner. And then she was off again. She just lives a few blocks away. Every once in a while we drive down the street and we say hey. But it's been a while. Ooh, look at that beautiful rose bush. Did y'all see that? Now granted, for those of you who don't like a ride along, and want to listen to old Mr. Tom ramble on, this is probably time for y'all to hop off. Instead of course, complaining in the comments below the video. Yep. Well, Tallahassee there, looks like some city official, might be the mayor, or what have you, or that might be the yard cop, since he was looking at that house with the growed up grass. Well, at least Buddy's isn't busy right now, because it's 12:23. The lunch rush is done gone. So we can whip on in there and get us a quick cold drink. Yes, we can. And hey, he's been sprucing the place up. They've been adding new paint on her the last few days. So hey, let me run on in and I'll be right back. Hey, if y'all want anything, y'all can jump out, but hey, you can't be lingering in there, okay? Well, that didn't take long. But I will say this, of course, now this is a convenience store. And I didn't have any water chilled down at the house. Of course, I keep some on hand. Not that much. But the cheapest bottle of water they had in there was $1.29 for some Aqua Librium. You know, they got to come up with a fancy name for basically just tap water that's been filtered. And if you do your research, you'll find out that's what the majority of bottled water is. How do I know? Good, yeah. I did some research. Not all of it is. Some of it's spring water. And some of it's mineral water. But you'll know just by the price. So hey, you're better off getting your own filter. And of course, doing it at home. Like most things in life. Yeah, ain't nobody at the city park there on the right. Ever since they made that park, I ain't ever seen nobody there. Maybe I'm just driving by at the wrong times. But yeah, we got to cruise through town. And then we'll head out west. And then we'll head south. Till we hit the old super slab, as we once called it. You know, back in the day. The super slab. Of course, that day was back in the 70s and 80s. And I know that seems like so long ago. I've even had little children ask me. And look at me. Papo, did they have dinosaurs when you were young? Oh my. What young minds will come up with. Sometimes I just play along. And I tell them the stories of the mighty dragons. You know, Tyrannus Rex, Cyclopeus. Some I just make up the names. You know, when they're really young, they don't know. And most times, I have no clue what the dinosaurs' names are. Of course, once they get up a little bit further, they'll know you don't know what you're talking about. It don't take kids long these days. Not with the internet and everything online. And as y'all know, that's our brand spanking new high school there on the right. Yep. Looking mighty fine. In fact, if you were to look at the pictures of the old one, it's nearly similar to that. But it's brand new. If I had to guess, it wasn't built anywhere near as good as the original one. But that's just my opinion. So here we're going to hit a lefty. Or a Larry, as we sometimes call it. We're going to take a Larry. 335 there at the Shell. They've always been proud of their gas. And I looked at traffic, you know, on the computer before I left out. And it showed all green, but as you know, that can change in a moment's notice. So I'm not sure what looking at it really means. So yeah, rather than getting up at the break of dawn today, and I thought about it, but then I remember my experience on Monday. Everybody trying to fight to get to work. And see, around here, the vast majority of workers for all the automotive factories, they come from outside the city. They live in the smaller cities and towns and rural areas that circle the capital city. That's why certain times of day the traffic was so bad. And there's our middle school right over there. Yep. Looks like everybody's behaving, and that's good. And yeah, we're heading south now, towards the interstate. And Alice is wanting to take off. Well, she will until she gets to the super slab. And then she gets a little bit timid and shy. Especially when those big trucks come by at 80 and 85 miles an hour. Yep, she sort of shimmers and shakes. There's some new building going up there on the right. Maybe that's a new company coming in and will provide more jobs. Of course, I don't know where the people are going to come from, because every business in town has got a help wanted sign hanging out. I often wondered, since 2020, we didn't have that situation, but now we do. Where did all the people go? They used to be the workers all around our country. Maybe one of you know. Because, hey, that old tale of stimulus checks, they don't got to work, well, that went away a long time ago. And in all truth, that was a bunch of BS. Because I got all 3 checks, like most people did. You wasn't going to live off of them for very long at all. Not if you had bills to pay and a regular life. Now, maybe if you was hanging out in Mama's basement, you might have could. Ooh, look at those pecan trees. We've been passing them there on the right, because this is the Auburn University agricultural extensive service farm out here. One of many, I might add, where they do agricultural research for farmers on all kinds of crops. Pecans being one of them, because that's a huge money crop down this way. And of course, corn, soybeans. They had an experiment going for several years on kiwis. Yeah, growing kiwis right here in Alabama. I saw it happen. Yeah, that's a nice stand of corn there on the left. On the right. There's another pecan grove coming up right there. Woo, that looks nice. And come fall, you'll see people out there gathering up the nuts. After the university gets so much, I guess you can go ask, I'm not sure, and you can go get what's left. Because there'll always be some left after they run those machines across the ground. So yeah, I don't know how much talking we'll do today, and I don't know how long the camera will last. And I hope those of you who don't get out much, and that's why I do these ride-alongs, because I don't know how many times in the comments I've seen by, our friends and family in our little community here, they just can't get out much anymore, and some can't get out at all. So this is my little way. The best I can do is get them out of the house. And as always, if you don't want to hear the old man rant, rave, and chat a while, hey, you just turn off the audio, slap in your favorite tunes, and watch, listen to the music flow through your head. You see that building right on the right is an automotive, what we call a tier 3 supplier. Panel. They wanted me to come there, but oh no, it's tier 3. And if you know anything about the automotive tier manufacturing system, you have the manufacturer, that's where you want to be, like Chevrolet, Ford, GM, Hyundai around here, Kia, Mercedes-Benz. You want to be at the assembly plant. That's where the big bucks is made. But almost as much as the big bucks, without so much hassle, is the tier 1 suppliers. they actually build sub-assemblies, and that, which is the way most cars are built now. They're all shipped into the manufacturer live in real time. Yes, they do. And they get all the parts from the Tier 2, which is the next step down, and the Tier 3 suppliers. Well, the way the profit pie sort of breaks out is, of course, the manufacturers get the lion's share. Tier 1s get the next big piece of the pie. Tier 2 get the next big piece. And honestly, Tier 3 gets the scraps. Maybe the crust. Sometimes I refer to it as just giving them enough to stay alive. Yep. And they work just as hard as the main manufacturing plants, Tier 1 and Tier 2. A lot of times harder, and in a lot harsher conditions, because it's all about cost. We just crossed over the Tallapoosa River there. Yep. I mean, a few blocks from my house, the Tallapoosa flows through 3 different lakes. One of them is the second largest lake in the state. But then it takes a big turn westward once it comes through town on its way over to Montgomery. And it looks like we got a train stopping us. Who knew? Yep, it gets me all the time. And people are being patient. Some of them try to cheat the gates. Well, don't know what that was all about. I didn't see no train, did y'all? Maybe they got one on up the ways, or they're working on the track. Just never know. I don't see one. So hey, could have been just somebody screwing around too. Yep, we're on old 229 south. Ooh, I see a field out there on the right. It's got like 1 million red flags in it. Somebody planted something they wanted to keep track of and spot. It's getting a little breezy out down here by the super slab. Hopefully that's not a bad sign. That's wall-to-wall traffic. So it looks like we're going to make the interstate. Of course, that's the easiest part of the trip. Pretty inconsequential. Of course, I had all of you along. My co-pilots, per se. Guide me along. Yes, I'm yielding, can't you see? Here we go, Alice. Time to kick in the turbos, baby. Woo! Don't that sink you back in the seat? Feel that raw power of an inline 4. Come on, Alice, you can get up to at least 65 before you hit the street. Woo, baby, I'm proud of you. You got 70. All right. She's cruising now. Yeah, about 74, 75. Just watch what happens. I'm maintaining 75. Watch what happens. Look to the left. Yep. Like I wasn't even here. Yep. There goes another one. They're from Florida. But there'll be many more. Yep. There's another one. Oh, there you go. These are the Challenger. You know he's really fast and cool. Come on, Alan. You can do better. Oh, now it's getting bad. We're getting passed by a Subaru with a bike on top. You know what? I don't care. Yep. We're just going to cruise along. And you know why? Not only for my own safety, though, you know, you take a risk, you know, running below the traffic movement, because they might be looking at their phone and just run right into the back of you. Lord knows, that's how most accidents happen here. Something causes a slowdown, people are looking at their phones, watching a video or reading an email, and bam, right into the back of another car. A few years back, I watched one drive right underneath the semi-trailer truck. Yeah, it was bad. If I don't see another one of those in my lifetime, it'll be good. And of course, Alabama's still trying to figure out the gambling bill, if you're keeping track of it. It passed the House by one vote, but it lost in the Senate, I think, by one vote. So they're back to the drawing board. You know, Alabama is one of those states where gambling's not allowed, and we don't got a lottery, even though the states that surround us all do. So you know where people go. Yes, they do. They don't mind driving to Georgia, Tennessee, or Mississippi, depending on where they live in our state. And they'll do it every week just to get their lotto tickets or play a gambling game. Now, I'm not much into gambling. I know the odds. But we're zipping right along, even though people are zipping right by. And I'm hoping this was a better decision coming into midday than coming in the early morning hours. We'll just have to see. But you wouldn't think, and if you've been looking at that traffic coming out of the capital city on the left, hey, that's where I used to work before I retired. Yeah, right there. Whew, I was wondering why my hands were wanting to make a turn. Yeah, because for many a year they did. We went there. Well, Montgomery, 20 miles. Of course, that's to the outer loop. We're going smack dab in the center of it. Woo, y'all hold on. I don't know who's holding on to the trunk lid back there. But as you can see, it gets a little bouncy. I hope we didn't lose anyone. Yep, everybody just passing on Mr. Tom. And I'm sure, like when I talked about traffic, those who live in the city, you know, I think one said, you know, it's pretty funny listening to an older gentleman that lives out in the rural area talk about how insane the traffic is in the city. Yep. You know, I used to travel all over this country, and I pretty much been in every major city. New York, Chicago, Cincinnati, St. Louis, LA, Miami, Dallas, Houston, Chattanooga, Nashville, Washington, D.C. I could just keep going on and on. But you know what? When I hit my 40s, I just didn't want to do that no more. And you can see here, we got a speed limit of 60 coming down because they're working on the road. And you would think they would slow down. You would think. Now it gets down to 50. And you would think they'd slow down. Now, there will be 2 state trooper cars up here. But, honestly, as you can see, the only way they slow down is when the big trucks do. But I don't think there's nobody in those state trooper cars. They just sit there with the lights flashing. You know, you can see one over there on the left. Maybe there's somebody in there and I can't see, because see, they can tint their windows a lot more than we can. But yeah, this is what it takes to slow them down. The trucks, they slow down because, I mean, they're putting their CDL at risk. That's how they make a living. So maybe, if you're one of these, see that one right there? No. You can't be bothered by this. They're important people. See? You can always tell the most important people, can't you? Because they're the ones that are in the biggest hurry. They got places to go. Yeah, they probably, you know, go and get their nails done, haircut. Maybe there's a sale down at Whole Foods. Who knows? And in all honesty, I gave up speeding a long time ago. Yep, now in my youth, I was bad to speed. And I paid the price. Yeah, a whole pile of it. And eventually, it dawned on me. Excessive speeding, not only is it not wise and not safe, not conducive to long life, it can get costly and is a poor financial decision. So think about that. I got plenty to spend my money on these days without having to pay a minimum of $250. That's where tickets start around here. Maybe you'll let me know in the comments at what cost a ticket costs where you are. And when I say that's the minimum, that's the ticket. Then you get to pay court costs. Oh yeah. Now I don't know what those are anymore, but the last time I went was oh wow. Back in '96, and I hadn't been in a long time when I got that one. Yep. Thankfully it was only for 5-0. And we're gonna have to pass this guy. So don't fret, we're not joining the crowd, but he's running slower than the speed limit. Got some nice trucks on there though. I wonder if he'd let me borrow one of those F-250s. What do you think? Probably not. And remember, use your blinkers, people. Not many do anymore. Yep, we're starting to get closer in to the capital city. And you can see the skyway up there. Yeah, they put them way up high in the sky. It would be right here where I'd take a Ralph, a right, head on over to my son's house. And this is about the halfway point on the way to my son's too. Because he lives all the way over, right near the center of Montgomery, just on the southeast side. If he was across Eastern Boulevard, he'd be on the southwest side. And he ain't too far. So you might as well say he's south central Montgomery. We'd only be halfway there. And there ain't no good way to get there. The way I have to go is just one traffic light after another. Ooh, that Arby's looking good. Man, if I go to Arby's, get a sandwich like that on the billboard, I'd probably give him a hug. Dude, I might be so happy I might give him a kiss. And we all fall for it. That's what I don't understand. especially when you're out here on the road. There's two things you get, or most people do nowadays, when they're on a road trip. They get thirsty, you know, because it's a desert out there. Yeah, I'm in this here air-conditioned, climate-controlled car. It ain't like that when we were growing up, when there was no AC in the car. I mean, we didn't get a car with AC till 1964. And then Dad didn't use it very often because he didn't want to wear it out. Now, we would use it for Sunday drives. Yeah. I think more so he could drive around with his windows up during the summertime just so people would know we had AC. Of course, they had that little igloo sign. You remember how popular that used to be back in the day? When everybody started getting AC, you know, businesses, restaurants, they'd have the little igloo there on the front window, down in the corner, or on the door. And then they even had little stickers that the automotive manufacturers put on your window too. Came right when you bought the car. More road work up ahead. No shoulder. Watch for workers. As you can see, for many people, that means go faster. Woo, but that's one thing you don't want to do in this state. You have an accident in one of these work zones, and heaven forbid, one of our DOT workers or contractors is injured. Let me tell you what's going to happen to you. You're going to become a ward of the state, and I don't mean that in a good way. You're going to be convicted, and you're going to get to visit one of our lovely resort prisons. And if you know anything about Alabama, our prisons are far from resorts, and no place anybody should ever want to be. Yep, they're not nice. Of course, I sort of don't think prisons need to be. I mean, we used to use them as a deterrent. Anymore, they're becoming just country clubs. Especially federal ones. I know about that personally. Because not that I've been in one, well I have, but I was on the right side of the bars, not the wrong. But we have one here. We have the Maxwell Federal Detention Center. And that's where they send a lot of little white-collar criminals, like politicians, bad bankers, and business executives. And if you didn't know it, you would think it was some type of resort. Because it's got tennis courts, volleyball courts, nice ones. I think mine even have miniature golf. Don't hold me on that. Oh, there's Auburn University. Of course, this is Auburn University of Montgomery. You know, one of them satellite campuses. And see right there, Taylor Road. That's where I got back on the interstate when it got all backed up on Monday for 10 miles or more. Yep. I fought my way through the back roads to here. And I was one of this long line of people trying to get out. Boy, you got to be careful, because see, they coming up on the left of you, they coming up on the right of you, you can't get over. Yeah, you got to constantly be looking at your rear views, both sides and the back. And hey, you guys in the back, you could sort of, you know, shrunk down some. Your heads are blocking my rear view. We're still going. So far, and see, that guy was across the line when he come right beside me. Good thing Alice is so small. She's got plenty of room on both sides. Shoot, I almost want, to book a room at the Motel 6, spend the night before I make it back home. Woo! Stories I can tell from out on the road. Yep, I have spent a night or two in my lifetime in a Motel 6. And I might add, some were rather pleasant, and as you might suspect, some were not. We're still zipping along. So far, I'm thinking this is about as good a decision as I could make for coming for the least amount of traffic. Of course, you can think in midday, why are all these people out? Shouldn't they be at home or at work? Because that's the way it used to be. See that guy? He couldn't even do it the right way. He had to come up, on the shoulder of the road to get around. There was plenty of room on the left. I don't know. He was just special. So far the camera's holding up. I didn't think it'd make it this long. It may make it all the way. Now, I can't wait to see how many comments I got. I ain't got time to watch all this. Well, this video wasn't made, or this episode of Mr. Tom's Neighborhood isn't made for everyone. No, it's not. Well, we're back down to 3 lanes of traffic. Yep. The scariest part, especially during the rush hour, is back where you're 6 and 8 lanes. Because they coming at you from all sides. Now, you'll have people that'll cross over 4 lanes of traffic. And there's no possible way they're looking. And as you can see, they still treat old Mr. Tom like he's standing still. And I'm actually doing 70, and the speed limit's 60. Because if I brought her down to 60, somebody would run right and slap into me. I'm seeing brake lights up ahead. That's never a good thing. And people don't get what they're supposed to do when they enter the interstate. You're not supposed to keep slowing down till you find a hole. You're supposed to accelerate and match the speed and get on in. They used to teach that to us, back in driver's ed. Of course, you can go on YouTube and get a refresher course if you want to. Woo, but we got plenty of places to eat here after we get out from being traumatized. Well, I've seen that crystal sign. Yep. That's the South's equivalent to White Castle, except much better. I might have to do that. What do y'all think? Now this says Ann Street exit only. We don't want that. Nope. We're going to have to go over here. We're looking in the mirror. We merged. Okay, we're getting close. I can smell the hospital from here. Yep, I see it. Well, I see the medical building, one of them. One of many. I got to get over to the right again. And I really do hate this here ramp. Because you got people coming on and people going off. All at the same time. And I can't tell you how many times there's been an accident there. Whoever designed that where you're getting on and getting off at the same time, yeah, they must have been on crack. Well, you see that building right up ahead of you? And there's the parking garage. Well, it's that building where my urologist is at. And this is a big medical campus. And of course, the hospital's on over in the center of it on the right. So we're down here now. Yes, we are. So now you know where Mr. Tom goes. And I ain't got no choice in it. Some say, you know, get close to the house or do locally. There ain't no such thing anymore in the rural communities. We got a fine little hospital. They took really good care of me when I almost died last year. Yeah, they did. So we got to go in here. This is where we get to go round and around. And around some more. Woo, it's dark in here. So I don't know what you're going to be able to see. Because being out in that bright sunshine, and then coming in here, whoa, look at there. Now I'm going to tell you what. Never before in my lifetime have I ever been able to park on the very first floor. God is good. Ooh, that was great. Well, hey, we made it here. Now I don't know how much camera roll we'll have left for the ride home. But I gotta put y'all up for a bit. Hope you don't mind being in the glove box for a while. But I did leave another bottle of water in there and some Cheetos for you, okay? And we'll see you when we get done. Thank you all for your thoughts and prayers and driving along with old Mr. Tom today. Goodbye for now.